Very annoyingly, there are as many versions of bouillabaisse as there are cooks, but as they say in Marseille, il n'y a qu'une façon de faire la bouillabaisse, c'est de la faire bonne. And for that, you only need good fish. Travelling through Provence on the way to Marseille, I really feel in my element. And the great thing about the local fish soup is that the fish are in their element too. The element being the legendary Bouillabaisse, the most celebrated of which is from Marseille, made with all the colourful Mediterranean rockfish from these coastal waters.
Ça, c'est la galinette,
Galinette.
et ça, c'est les vives qu'on
Les
va
vives.
manger dans 35 minutes.
D'accord.
D'accord? À tout à l'heure, monsieur.
Now these folk at the famous Chez Michel restaurant, considered by many to be the place for bouillabaisse in Marseille, in fact they hardly serve anything else and have been doing so forever. Well, they tell you in that rather haughty French manner that their recipe is a secret, but worry not. There are no secrets when it comes to the classics, and as always you can rely on Pete's Pans to bring you the perennial, unfailing, genuine item, classic Bouillabaisse de Marseille. So the bouillabaisse is typically a two-part operation. Everything is cooked in the same pot, though the soup is served separately from a dish of fish and potatoes, and all this accompanied with croutons of bread, often served with aioli sauce, or a similar preparation known as rouille. At Chez Michel, I'm fortunate to be served both.
Le bouillon, et on vous souhaite un bon appétit.
Now, however many French cooks you ask for the authentic recipe, you'll be given each person's version with the claim that it's the only authentic one. So it's tricky. However, the following constants emerge from all the confusion. Firstly, the Mediterranean rockfish must be spanking fresh, and the one known as rascasse is absolutely essential. 5 varieties of different fish are generally considered optimal. Here we have the congre, the conger eel, the baudroie, monkfish, le chapon, a red scorpion fish, and the essential rascasse, followed by the galinette or grondin. And this is the well-known Saint-Pierre with its distinctive black spot. All these varieties are typical of a genuine bouillabaisse from Marseille, though away from the Mediterranean, go ahead and use any suitable white fish, sole, hake, bass, snapper, or whatever's available. We need fennel, leek, onions, and tomato. A bouquet of thyme and bay, and dried fennel branches are typical, though not necessary if using fresh fennel too. Tomato concentrate, plenty of saffron. Some cooks like to add a drop of white wine, others swear against it, and the local anise-flavoured spirit from these parts, pastis. Useful, but absolutely optional. Bread for croutons, and potatoes to be cooked along with the fish, as well as olive oil, garlic, an egg yolk, and lemon for the wonderful aioli sauce. So in a heavy pan, in the finest olive oil, put the sliced onion, the leek, the fennel, and the crushed garlic, and the herbs. Season and stir until soft. The soup itself is made from the heads, the trimmings, tails and fins of the fish. The bodies are kept aside to be cooked in the soup and served separately. So once the vegetables have softened, add the tomatoes diced up like so, skin and all, and the tomato paste. Cook this out for a couple of minutes and add the saffron, the wine and the pastis. Followed by the fish heads. Stir around another minute and just cover with water, cranking up the heat to achieve a strong boil, maintaining this boil throughout the half an hour to 45 minutes of cooking. We want the oil and everything to create a sort of emulsion, and if we merely simmer the soup it'll be too clear, like a light broth, not at all the effect we're after. Meanwhile, the bread is fried in olive oil to make the croutons, and the aioli is made in the usual manner, mixing garlic with an egg yolk. A squeeze of lemon, and the oil is whisked in a drop at a time. The bouillabaisse is then strained through a sieve, not too fine, every last drop being pushed through like so. Now we can cook the potatoes and the fish together for 10 minutes. Do start the potatoes first if you feel they'll take longer. Keep the soup at a slightly lower boil now, just to protect the flesh of the fish as it cooks. Your guests help themselves to aioli, spooning it onto the croutons. And the bouillabaisse soup, every bit as delicious as Michel's version in Marseille, is served alongside a dish of fish and potatoes. And traditionally, a splash of the soup moistens the dish. Served with a local chilled white from Cassis. Divine. A like and your subscription will ensure you don't miss any authentic classics further down the road. Bon appétit et large soif!